Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens. This one, the bronze final between Samoa and Hong Kong, China. Now, these are two sides that unfortunately cannot go on to Sevens 2, but they can still get themselves a bronze medal here in the competition. Samoa, they were defeated by Belgium in what was a very impressive performance from the Belgian side, whereas for Hong Kong, China, they went to Golden Point up against the Canadians in the other semi-final. They were oh so close to getting over the line, but just on the touchline, foot in touch, stopped that opportunity from taking place. We have got hi all says Studs Race and hi from Nov Mum too. Hope you guys are both doing well and hope you are excited for this contest. Samoans, I would say they underperformed in this competition, not so much in their group stage. They were able to get themselves 3 wins from 3, but it was the mistakes in that semi-final up against Belgium that did cost them. But this side here, Hong Kong, I would say very hard to know who comes in as favourite for this contest. These two sides did play each other not too long ago in the group stage. It was 31 points to 17 in favour of Samoa. But I would say since then, Hong Kong, China, even though they did lose in their semi-final, they did look like the better of these two sides in those last matches. I'd say Samoa, says Jasmine. Yeah, they're either going to come out absolutely firing here, Samoa, because of the frustration of missing out, or they are going to have a few injuries, or not so much injuries, but just fatigue and a few errors coming in. Hong Kong, China managing to retain their own kickoff, so they will have the first attack of this bronze final, looking to shuffle to the left-hand side, but tackle 40 metres out from the line at the moment. Hong Kong still in possession. Samoa, they waited until the last 2 minutes of their last fixture to be able to get themselves over the try line. Just a mistake out wide from Max Denmark. Doesn't mean that it will be a Samoan line-out. I think they actually have the option here of a scrum or a line-out. Looks like they're going line-out here. Are you covering Bordeaux versus Bristol? We are indeed. So yeah, that game, and then La Rochelle versus Harlequins straight afterwards. What sevens is this? Says Padza, so it is 7-3. Pretty much. So what happens here is the top two sides, which are now Canada and Belgium, they will go on to Sevens 2. Whereas these sides, I believe, still play off for later opportunities of qualifying for the championship. But you definitely wanted to win that semi-final. And for Samoa and Hong Kong, China, both very close, but missing out. Nicely stolen there by Samoa. Going to fire it back across. It was Malakisi Masifau. And now looping around. They just lacked a little bit of that extra pace up against Belgium, who do look like a well-rounded team and do have a great chance in the final after beating Canada in their last contest. But Motu Opitai receives the offload, and that will be the first try of this contest for the Samoans, getting off to a much better start than their last fixture. And I, Hamish, no idea who will win. Samoa, odds-wise, should, but it's very hard to say. What about Glasgow versus Sarries? I probably won't be covering that game, as I believe we're supposed to be pouring concrete during the time of that match. And of course, it's going to be very hard to commentate while pouring. We have got there, why they made Sevens so darn confusing, says Pads Ablaze. Yeah, I don't really know. It worked all right with the 16 teams. Even if they were going to go the top 16 teams all play each other on the regular circuit, and then have the other sides play off in like a Challenger Series, top 2 from there get promoted, bottom 2 from the 7-16 go down. That would have been much easier, but they decided instead to try and revamp it with tiers so that it seems like it's a bit more like, I guess, Premiership and that type of thing with the English football, how you can go up and down with the relegation and promotion. And we have got their high all, and Hamish says, Robert, welcome in. I wonder who will be the new coach. Yeah, there's rumours going around, but we will wait to see whether or not they end up turning into anything. Currently 5 metres out from the line here. Hong Kong, China have got themselves the line out. Currently down by the 7 points up against the Samoan side. Well, I would say probably need about 2 or 3 more tries if they really want to be secure, but that's a great run down the wing. I think that's going to be the big man, Callum McCullough, just tackled down on the halfway line. Back to this Liam Herbert. Man, who I feel has been a bit of an underrated part of this Hong Kong China side. Samoa managing to get the interception off the pass of Hong Kong China, and now breaking through. It's going to be another try for the Samoans. And they managed to score at that time with Warren Solomona. And I might apply, says Jasmine. You might as well. I mean, there'll be plenty of options in terms of that coaching box, but I'd say that, yeah, Jamie Joseph, you've at least got the same starting leader as the man who might get the job. And nice grey hoodie, says Ruth. And I, Hamish, looking like rain again in Cape Town, says Ruth there. And Old Sevens was much better. I think so, but yeah, it seemed to be financially, they said that it wasn't doing too well for them, the Old Sevens setup. So hopefully this is going to help, but I have to say it seems like this would actually cost more with the way that they've got it now compared to the old school days. And I pay the refs to let the All Blacks win. See, you shouldn't publicly announce that. You should keep that one secret, but maybe take it to the board and say, look, this is my tactic. To be honest, I could actually be a good coach. Says Pads Ablaze, and Hong Kong surprise, says Ruth. Yeah, at the moment they are down by 12 points. 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half, and the penalty does go the way of Hong Kong, China. Now, I will mention the next game just around the corner. It is going to be South Africa versus Argentina for the women's final, and then the men's final straight after that between Canada and Belgium. So I'm all looking for the ball in the breakdown, and they managed to win it with Yuna Sione. He is the captain, alongside Owen Nue for this game. Reckon all applicants need the New Zealand Players Association's approval. Says Studs Rays, and breaking through Owen Nue. The captain will score it. See, this is once again one of those ones that this will be so frustrating for Samoan supporters because of the fact that if they had done this up against Belgium, they would have won and they would have gone through to sevens too. Our men's final is on. Was hard one to call. I think South Africa women will win. I have a lot of knowledge about rugby and how it works and runs. Says Pads are there. They have got a decent argument there. There wasn't much of a grounding from Owen Nue. He kind of just rolled the ball backwards. I think they're just asking the question there, the commentators, or I could be a great ref as well. And Bristol Bordeaux should be a good game. Yeah, hopefully it is going to be a great contest. I see Bordeaux have gone pretty similar to what they had in their match up against the Bulls. Oh, that one hasn't gone the 10 for the Samoans, so it will be on the halfway line. Hong Kong, China do have the tap or scrum feed. But yeah, it's very intriguing to see how Bristol back up what they did up against the Bulls, because it's not going to be easy. And both of these sides, Bordeaux and the Bears, have both got themselves wins over the Bulls. That Bulls going backwards. It's quite surprised though to see that Salisi Reasi's been taken out of the starting side after his hat-trick last week. Now going back across to the right again. Bit of open space here for Hong Kong, China. They do need a try before the halftime break if they want any chance of winning this contest. It's Callum McCullough now running it forward. Now Herbert. Another offload there. Seems like a lot of Samoans right next to that breakdown. They're all trying to get that ball back as a Glasgow fan. Come on, Bristol. I'm hoping to go to Thailand this year for surgery. I still have a few kgs to lose. Says Jasmine. Now another step there and a bit of a fumble from Hong Kong, but they will manage to score that try. Matthew Rickett is the man who scores it. 15 seconds remaining now in the first half, and that should be the last play, I would think, of this half, depending on how long it takes them to take that kick. But 19 points to 5, the moment the way that it sits. We have got there, you're looking at the cricket, or you're trying to avoid it? I'm trying to avoid it, but I just know it's going to get spoiled later on anyway. But the last I saw, it was when New Zealand were 3 down. But other than that, I've been trying to keep it without seeing too much. Only 19 points to 5, the way that this scoreline sits. And actually still the 15 seconds remaining on the clock by the looks of it. Oh no, in fact, it is now going to be called as halftime. So there was a bit of confusion there for the players. What do you think of the Castros dumping Munster out of the Champions Cup? It's a big one. Although I do still feel like Munster have a great chance in the Challenge Cup if they do commit to it. I guess please don't spoil us. And okay, I'll do my best to help keep people from spoiling it, says Padza. See, the problem is, even if you delete their messages, it still comes through my software. So you don't really have to worry about trying to delete them at the time that they come through, because it still sends them through anyway. We have got there, no spoilers, says Xander. But now, second half, 19 points to 5. The way that it does currently sit. Wait and see whether or not Hong Kong have anything left in the tank. Now, I'll tell you what, they would have emptied a lot of it in their contest just recently up against the Canadians. They went to Golden Point, few extra minutes played as well, and that was a game that Hong Kong China had all of the opportunity in the world to be able to win. I mentioned just at the end of that game getting forced into touch. It's their big mistake of the contest. Still up by 14 at the moment for Samoa. They have already scored more points than they did in their game up against Belgium. I do for other people's sake as well in case. Says Badzer. What do you think of Toulouse's win last night? It was expected that they were going to win by a lot. I thought they'd win by 50, but they ended up winning by about 70 in the end up against Sale Sharks. We have got there, oh, and it's my birthday next week. I will be so old, says Jasmine. Have you got anything planned for your birthday? I guess it's still a little bit too early. Actually, Super Rugby pre-season, I think, is the week after, isn't it? Do the Chiefs have a home game for that? Or are they away from home for the Super Rugby pre-season? Getting ready to go for another half of Rugby Samoa. We'll be kicking off from right to left. The only thing I don't like about Sevens is I just get settled in, then the game is over. Luckily, we've got 3 games in a row, though. So, that's slightly a bonus. How long after the game until spoiling isn't spoiling? Says Studs Rays. I'd say the next day normally. Definitely with ODI because it takes so long to play. So, I'm going to have to probably watch it after work, I would say. Because I think we're pouring concrete at about 6 a.m. Or maybe a little bit later than that. Hopefully a little bit later, or else it does overlap with Harlequins versus La Rochelle. I think we'll be closer to 7. That's going to be another penalty going the way of Hong Kong, China. There'll be a Mount Maunganui. I'd go, but I'd be driving home after midnight. I'd hate driving over the Kaimais. Says Jasmine, nice wide cut out pass there for Hong Kong, China. Because there's a couple rounds of Super Rugby pre-season, isn't there? Do they have, what about the week after? Is there a home game for them, or is that actually the start of the competition? There's a knock-on, but they will go back for the initial penalty. Going to be in favour of Hong Kong due to offside against Samoa. I'm old psych, says Beds Ablaze. Now it looks like Hong Kong, China has called for the scrum feed in this scenario. Okay, referee just telling Samoa, never back on side. They have to be very careful. They don't want to end up with a yellow card here because that could actually completely change the momentum. Would it cement Glasgow home field if they were to win with a bonus point, says Kahu. I think it would be pretty close, depending on some of the results of the other game. I think that Glasgow are the only side that can have 4 wins with bonus points, right? At this stage, I think Bristol are on 14 points or something like that at the moment. There's a knock-on. That is a mistake from Max Denmark. I've actually got the tables and everything all set up so that I can show it at the start of that Bristol versus Bordeaux game. Currently 5.5 minutes remaining. 19 points to 5. Samoa still lead. Still plenty of work to be done, though, before they secure the bronze in this competition. And it's a bit of a tricky one because you win the bronze, but you don't actually get too much. Bordeaux has 15 as well. Okay, so if Bordeaux got themselves the bonus point and a decent points differential up against the Bears, they could find themselves at the top of the bunch. A pass across to the left. Chance here, charging forward here for Samoa. Salah the dummy, thought about the inside pass. They managed to get it to the hands of Yunasioni, but it does get knocked on too. Just didn't quite grab that ball the way that he would have liked. It does give Hong Kong, China another scrum feed. This actually, I'll be honest, this has felt like a little bit of a slow and methodical game for these two sides. Normally Sevens is done in a flash, but this second half, I don't know, there's something about it that feels like it's going relatively slow. Their points differential is way better than Glasgow, already 64-24, I think. Okay, so if they just win with a bonus point then Bordeaux, then they would more than likely sit at the top. Because I don't see, the thing is, Saracens, if Glasgow managed to get ahead of Bordeaux on points differential, it would more than likely mean that Saracens are knocked out and the Sharks go through to the round of 16. Yeah. Scrum feed for Hong Kong, China, 25 metres out from their own line, going away to the left-hand side. And about trying to skip through there. Big driving tackle on Liam Herbert. Samoa told to get out of that breakdown again. They went for it twice, though. And that is going to be another penalty against them for not releasing. That is something that has hurt them throughout their last 2 games, is that discipline. Hong Kong trying to break the line. This is a brilliant opportunity to get something going. Max Denmark tackled down low. Couple men stealing that ball and the breakdown for Samoa, and now it's going to be the counter-attack, and the pace is shown by the youngster. They will not catch him. And that is going to be another try for the Samoans. And that is the second try of the match for Warren Solomona. I don't think Bordeaux will win, especially in Ashton Gate. says Kahu, but surely that's their better chance of winning rather than being in France, right? Like for that game, like they've gone a decent side too, to be fair to the Bristol Bears, but Bordeaux are stacked. Like even having someone like Rayasi who came off a hat-trick, he's off the bench for this game because they've brought in Buros into the starting lineup. So, yeah, not exactly huge hits to the side. At loose forward trio, we've got to remember Cameron Wacky also scoring himself the hat-trick last match too. Currently sitting 3 minutes 30 remaining. Samoa leading this game 26 points to 5. I actually put that round the wrong way in terms of the scoreboard. We will go like that. We will go like that as well. And Hong Kong, geez Louise, they're doing well. Says Ruth. That one's going to be kicked deep by Samoa. It's actually going to roll dead. We'll just keep on going. Now Hong Kong, China, they will run this one back up to the halfway line as quickly as they can, as they do know that if they can catch Samoa napping, it will mean that it's only about a 3-on-2 back here. Quick tap now taken by Hong Kong, China, going off to the right. Nice slinging pass out to Max Denmark. He's going to put in a little bit of a fend. Oh, that's a hard injury too. I think that was Malakisi Masifau may have gotten stuck underneath that breakdown, but going off to the right-hand side now, another chance for Samoa. 2 men on the outside. If they can get it there, trying the loose offload. Does roll along the ground. Are you interested in the final week of the BBL? Says Studs Rays. I am going to be keeping an eye on it. I know that, was it tonight that they had a game that was going to determine who was finishing where, and then I think we're into the finals next week, or is it a final, like an eliminator final today? I think it's next week, right? Yeah, the Heat versus the Sixers is happening at the moment, and then in 2 days' time, it's going to be Scorchers versus whoever's second. Now, it's going to be the line out here for Samoa again. We have got there, I didn't want to watch any Sevens, but Samoa sucked me in. Says Fleshin, did you watch their game up against Belgium, Fleshin? Out of curiosity, because that game was one that I didn't see coming. And Belgium actually looked like a really good side from that one. I'm curious to see how they go now in Tier 2. Okay, I'm going to bed. I'm far too tired to be here. Good night, everyone. Y'all need to like and subscribe. I'll be in your dreams. Pedza. We see it there. There's some frustration there for Hong Kong. Looks like some tears at the moment as well for the side. They know how close they were. And yep, Sixers versus the Heat. Have it on one screen, close finish. See a Studs race. So can I have a quick look? They need, oh yeah. I might have to get that on the other screen while we're at it. Hello, Hamish and all, says the real bad boy. Welcome in. Now this one's going to be fed in. Oh, great steal there by Hong Kong, China in the scrum, but it was taken straight back by Samoa. They've shown a lot more intent throughout this match, just like Hamish are being in my dreams. Says Pads of Lace. Now almost breaking through was Malakisi Masifau. Straight onto the ball for Hong Kong, but no clear release. 70 seconds remaining. It's a knock-on there from Samoa. I think it was followed up by a knock-on from Hong Kong, China too, so they will go back for the scrum. It's Quinn's full strength against La Rochelle, as they can finish second in the pool. I'd say it's close to full strength. Like, they don't seem to be missing a huge amount of players. They've got Kinningham, they've got Dombrandt, they've got Chandler Cunning himself, Marcus Smith, Tyrone Green, all playing in the contest. So I'd say, like, it's maybe their strongest with the exception of 1 or 2 players out. But overall looking very handy. But La Rochelle's looking stacked too. No, I didn't, says Fleshin. But yeah, massive one for Belgium, who have now managed to get themselves through to Tier 2, alongside Canada, who went to Golden Point up against Hong Kong. So it's been a hectic old semi-final, but another knock-on there this time from Hong Kong, China. I think their big game was up against the Canadians. I have family in Belgium. Well, they will be very happy if they've been watching the Sevens, that's for sure. And honestly, I think Belgium have a good shot in the final up against Canada. They've already beaten them in this competition in the first round, or second round, I think it might have been. Belgium amazing, says Ruth. Now 1 second remaining on the clock, Samoa. I think they might look to have one last attack for the sake of it. Currently leading this game 26 points to 5. But once again, a frustrating one. The fact that they have been able to do this and dominate in this game up against Hong Kong, China, but just couldn't find their rhythm in the game up against Belgium. The match that did matter that little bit more. There's another knock-on from Hong Kong, China. And that is going to be the end of this matchup. The Bronze goes the way of the Samoans, and they win it 26 points to the 5. The next contest that we've got just around the corner, it is going to be the match between South Africa and Argentina. That one is kicking off in about 6 minutes' time, so we are going to be covering that one too. And then after that, we've got the final between Belgium and Canada for the Dubai Sevens. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in about 5 minutes.